Morality can be distilled down to a single sentence: the obligation to consider the welfare of other living things. But with a religious sense of morality, human or animal suffering seems to rank rather low among their concerns. The God of Abraham, worshipped by the majority of the planet, thought it was important that we achieve a type of moral sophistication that would have us sacrificing humans and other animals, warding off demons with exorcism, owning slaves, and worrying ourselves to this day with the sexual orthodoxy of our neighbors. In biblical times, the same penalty was given for working overtime as was given for murder. The penalty for rape was literally marriage. In fact, many of the moral obligations in our religions appear to be completely detached from what I consider moral obligations at all. Shouldn't the focus be on reducing harm? I've actually witnessed people moralizing that we preserve the harm as a deterrent. Why don't they ever seem to notice that the consequences associated with certain acts are precisely what makes them immoral in the first place? Time and again, religious moralists miss the forest for the trees. I want to acknowledge that many religions do have positive moral precepts. Unfortunately, it's a lot like trying to enjoy a meal that is more pepper than steak. There are more frivolous and inconsistent decrees in our scriptures than rational or judicious ones. But for me, it's important to try to understand how religious morality got this way. How did it get so far afield from the stated goal of morality? I think it becomes clear when we examine the disposition of dogma itself. Religious morality is dogmatic, and dogma is unchanging. Everything else in our world, including our understanding of it, will continue to change. But dogma does not. It cannot. Needless to say, the differences between religious dogma and observable reality don't end there. I do think the moral principles of today's religions represent the best efforts of the people of the time. But reality has revealed much since then. For instance, understanding germ theory and the chemistry of mental illness has provided a basis for dealing with disease that exposes the ritual practice of exorcism as the waste of time that it is. Farmers can appreciate that animal sacrifice has been phased out by products like Miracle-Gro, and contraceptives have gone a long way to neutralize the consequences of sexual promiscuity. If the harm is neutralized, shouldn't the immorality also be considered neutralized? When we look at how religious sensibilities have approached issues like abstinence-only education, the disconnect really comes into focus. We can statistically see that abstinence-only education drives up the rates of teen pregnancy and STDs. But abstinence-only advocates don't seem interested in preventing harm, only in preventing a sex act, missing the forest for the trees again. This is why I say that religious morality is a deviation. Any dogma is. When it comes to addressing reality, anything that cannot change is a deviation.